Time Music Hour. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good. We're back. I'm excited for these drops. I'm ready. My
Hell
body's ready.
yeah. Hell yeah. Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, Calliope and Cleo have gone pretty well. This one is, I guess, the third song in the trilogy of the first three. Kind of I was saying last week how it's kind of divided into three trilogies. 3 by 3 equals 9. So, um, keep my Hype Shot chat open. Let's see, are we live yet on Hype Shot? There's usually, yeah, there we go. I feel like there's sometimes a delay to go live, but no, we are live. All right, cool.
Says live. Yep.
I'm saying GM friends in Hype Shot. That's the 402.xyz. Yeah, so I actually haven't looked to see how many Calliopes moved, but the last I saw was only 2. So
Interesting. There's 2 Cleos left and only 2 Calliopes.
3 Calliopes were collected. There you go. So there
This
are 10 left of Calliope, and there are only 2 left of Cleo, and we're about to have 13 of Arado dropped.
Ooh.
Yeah. The other thing is last week was NFT NYC, and I know a lot of people were out of town. So it could be that people are going to come back and start catching up on their lens collects.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, I know like ETH Denver took a lot of people out of commission.
Yeah.
Permissionless is right around the corner. We'll get another one of these soon.
Oh boy. Yeah, but we're gonna keep doing our thing. I've been having fun.
Hell yeah.
This new time slot for Zombie Time. Yeah, we got Super Paul in the chat.
Oh, GM, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be dropping it. We usually drop at
like
the
it's
half
hot.
hour mark. I'm gonna start getting things ready over here.
I'm getting logged in, ready to scoop.
So yeah, I mean, we did our podcast recording right before this, so we didn't touch grass has been such an evolution. I gotta say, like, it was a Twitter Spaces, and then we decided we were going to start doing it as a live stream, and that didn't really last long because we already pivoted to, hey, let's just do it pre-recorded and take our time to like really do the show well. I feel like, and we've also dropped the title Touch Grass, but it's more of a, it's in there, but it's not a title. It's still just part of the culture.
Culture. We're touching grass for the culture. That's exactly right.
But yeah, like,
little different structure. It was kind of nice. It was refreshing. We did
yeah.
a pre-record, better structure in terms of like show notes and conversational direction. And then we get to record and then edit and post. So that'll be different than doing our live click arounds and making sure that our frames are, working in real time. It's a whole different setup. Another direction of leveling up. Should be good.
I feel like it's a better direction because in the past, to do that with this show, but like in the past, Touch Grass was very ad hoc flow, thought flow process. Like I would have loose notes, but it was really just what was coming out of my mind and coming out of my head at the time. So I would just pick a subject and go on about it because I knew so much about it. But that's not really a good way to add value to the community and actually teach something because you're like all over the place and,
it's hard for a listener to know what they're going to take out of it and then take something away.
You would have to have my special brand of ADHD to learn that way. Like you would have to be like, I'm right on the wave with this guy. And that's just, nobody's on the wave with this guy. Like this.
No.
Yeah. So I like our new structure because it really does add value. I think it gives it clear structure and value and things you can take away from it in an easy way instead of having to figure it all out.
And it's a partnership. It's a different approach from that perspective too. It's a partnership with Bankless DAO, and it's an upskilling and training opportunity for AV Guild members. If you'd like to join, go ahead and join. We'd like to upskill you in Web3 creator economy podcast specialty details. We'll get you all trained up. We're using the show as a training platform, essentially. So it's a call to action to get more folks over into our AV guild and more folks just generally creating in the creator economy here in Web3.
That's it.
I'm excited.
Man. I'm excited too. It's like it was really fun. It was a fun podcast, and honestly, like I said, it makes this even more fun because now that we've done like that podcast in a very like work-like way, even though it was still fun to do it, it's work. It was work to get it ready, and
it for sure is, yeah.
Yeah, so then coming in here and just being able to hang out and you know, not have to feel like we have a structure necessarily the whole time, or you know, we kind of have a structure, but we can just do what we want here and just talk about whatever we want.
The structure is just a little bit more casual.
Speaking of, I mean, yeah,
listening to songs.
We're here to talk about music and stuff. And speaking of, like, Zanzi has been sending me some badass like sludge metal.
No shit.
That's awesome. Some Spotify.
His own? Stuff. Is he making stuff?
No, this is just some badass stuff he's been listening to. But
I was gonna say, if he's slinging some new songs, let's get.
I always love some good song and you know some good playlists and stuff in my DMs. So don't be afraid to send me music, friends. You never know if it's yours, it'll end up on Zombie Time. I'll just be like, hey, oh, I just realized, man, Slaps gave me some music and I still haven't played it.
Ooh, we got some in the bag. I like that. It's nice to have a little, you know, a little something just in case.
Yeah, I just remember.
I want to hear some fresh slaps. Maybe next week's playlist?
We need to, yeah. I mean, I need to get more Zombie Time going in general. I haven't done playlists in a while because we've been doing the drop and then we've been doing the re-release on Friday. So
we might be due for some new Super Paul too.
We're definitely due for some Super Paul. What's up with that?
He's been focused on the fake gotchis and probably life like the rest of us. But man, some new Super Paul beats. I'm always ready. Always ready.
Oh, look. So I started working on the upload. I'll share my screen. And they have
there you
features.
Go, life. Yep. Buying a house, my dude.
Oh, wrong mode. Let's try this one. No, let's try that one.
Look at all these frames.
All right, so we got the cover art. We've got the description and the title. I've not put the track yet. That's the post button. Let me close that. I put it in the rock genre. So there's access settings, which I believe that was there last week. Collect settings, anyone, unlimited. I did limited editions. We're doing, oh, that didn't stick. That wasn't good. 11 at 7-matic set collect module. There you go. And then there's a splits now.
You love to see that.
Yeah, so now you can do the splits here. So that's cool because that's a feature that's on. We've been doing it with From A to Z, and we will be doing From A to Z splits to the Bankless DAO directly from any of our collects. So that's going to be like, this is how we're going to do it. Is just you set your split right there. But I don't think Riffs had it integrated last week.
Yeah, that looked new to me as well. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, so
you went through it pretty quick, but I don't remember seeing it.
It didn't. It ended at this screen. So I'm wondering if this just resets every time you press that. I hope that doesn't. Let me try this one more time. Limited editions. Every time, I'm hoping it just resets every time you go in there because, like, I hit set and it should be right, but when I open it up again, it says 1.
I'm refreshing your page to see if there's 12 of them posted already.
I haven't posted yet.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
it looks like you're clear.
I almost named it wrong too, so you got to pay attention. I got to put the Helicon 3 Descending. You got to be careful with NFTs, man. If you mess up the naming.
That's right. Unless you put them on a diamond.
It's true.
Right? Or an upgradable contract, or
a ruggable contract.
What did you? Yes.
Yeah.
I think I said that in there.
I didn't say that.
A rug factory.
A ruggable contract. All right, so we are about ready to post the song. Errato Helicon 3 Descending. It looks like it uploaded right. Everything's looked good. All right, here's the moment. I'm going to do it. I guess this time I'll also read the description before we play the song. All right, uploading.
I'm smashing F5 like a crazy person. I want that first one.
Oh, you know what? I didn't hit the ape.
What's the ape? Oh,
I didn't hit the aggressive gas. That's why it's taking a normal amount of time.
Normal gas allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's just sitting there pending. I'll let you know when
it's
it
all
goes
right.
through. So you
we got 16 minutes here before official drop time. So we got some buffer. No worries.
So now I officially only have this week to decide if track 4 is going to have vocals or not, because I have, as of now, have not rewritten the lyrics and have not re-recorded the original lyrics. So it might be that song ends up going lyricless. Oh, nice. Super Paul's working on trying to buy a house.
That's real shit there.
What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
I was uploading something about we've got some time.
Oh, it posted.
Boom, here it comes.
It's there.
Gone.
Boom. First collect. Nice. Oh, yeah. I only have a week before I can, vocals for that song.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
for the next week.
What's I'm gonna ask for a little alpha here. Feel free to tell me you gotta wait, but what would you say is the primary instrument, or it's kind of hard to ask. What does it sound like? But is it something?
I'll give you two hints. It's actually so this one's guitar driven again. So the song tonight has no guitar. Next week's song will have guitar. It's guitar and drum driven. No synthesizer. So it literally, if I post it with no vocals, it would literally be guitar and drum. I don't think there's anything else. It'd be one guitar and one drum if I post it as is.
All right.
However, the other hint I can give you is that it's the second song that reuses a melody that we've already heard. But it's very hard to tell because I use it in a very different way. It's not the exact melody, but it's built on the same original. It's kind of like the first few notes of the structure are the same, and then I go somewhere else with it. And I do that in 3 songs. So it drastically changes where it goes because of what you do with the tail end of it. So let's
all right.
Let's give a listen.
I'm ready.
Oh, like I said, I'll read first. Errato, Helicon 3 Descending. Absent lips that never miss. Making love but never kiss. Hate with all of your hips. It's not my fault that your art never hit. There's always fond remembrance of emptiness that makes the heart grow fonder. This is the first song in which you really feel the minimalism. It's driven by a synth bass melody with a fun juxtaposition of live drums. I could see the instrumental version of this song in a museum, visually displayed as the Muppet animal sitting in an original Herman Miller shell chair playing a VR drum set. Before adding the vocals, there was no mid range melodic element. So there is a lot of space in the frequencies. I put songs like 3 and 5 to explore that empty space before we really open up in tracks 7 through 9. It also allows the listener more time to absorb the impact of the heavily guitar driven songs.
And if I recall, track 2 actually flows into track 3.
It does. Now you won't hear that overhang in this version because I
Okay.
made sure to like cut that out. But in the full version, when the album is posted as one track, you'll hear that.
Cool.
Can you hear it?
I heard it.
Naps and nibs that never miss, making love but never kiss. Hate with all of your hips, it's not my fault that your art never hit. There's always fond remembrance of emptiness that makes the heart grow fonder.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is Errato. Like I said, what made this one different is it has bass and no guitar. No guitar in this one. So it's all bass driven, all like MIDI bass, but it also has real drums. So that was something fun for me, like um, you know, that because I'm not like a drummer first. So the songs, especially when I wrote this album, like I was coming out of my band days. I was literally in a band at the time called the Pink Juggernaut, and I was coming out of. I think I might have wrote this right after I quit that band, and so a lot of the songs were still guitar driven, but because I was experimenting with this short format, it was really easy to like just come up with this cool melody on something and be like, oh, like I'm not going to put guitar. And actually the way this came about, if I'm not mistaken, is because the last song in Calliope, there's guitar and there's electric synth bass. So the synth bass, I basically had written it. I wrote this album linearly. So I think I was just coming out of that, like playing with the synth bass. So I started playing with the synth bass for the next track. And then so it ended up building from the bass. And I was like, oh, well, what would really set tracks 2 and 3 apart from each other is not adding guitar to this.
I see.
So in a way, like 1 and 2 flow into each other because they both have guitar, and then 2 and 3 flow into each other because they both rely on that bass. And all three of those songs have real drums, at least as far as like in track 2, they're real cymbals, but it's a synthetic bass drum, which there was a partially synthetic bass drum in the first song. So because I built it in a linear way, it was almost like adding and subtracting elements in each song, flipping different switches on and off. And then in a way, as I got later in the album, it was like, oh, what switches had I flipped off earlier in the album that I should flip back on again, that I haven't used in a while, that I maybe forgot about? You kind of reach this parabola where
Interesting.
yeah, you're like, all right, I'm moving away from all the things I've done. And then you reach a point where you're like, wait, I'm so far away from all the things I've done that now I can revisit the things I've done.
I like that.
Yeah. So
I'm a fan of those progressive albums. I think I shared that last week as well. I like, the Pink Floyd style where it is a continuous story, but can be isolated into its own tracks.
right. And that's why I didn't mind doing the melodies that borrowed from other melodies because I felt like, okay, this is like a concept album. It's like you said, Pink Floyd, like in The Wall, there are riffs that you hear multiple times in different songs, you know?
Yeah, there's little subtleties that tie it all
Look,
together.
they'll use the funny part is, and it's one of those things why I say you don't notice it, because if you're not really like a trained musician or you're not really paying attention to it, then you don't really think about the fact that like one song might actually be the same exact theme, melody, or notes as another song, but because of the context of the other instruments, you don't recognize it. You think of it entirely new
Mm,
song, but structurally it might be the same thing as something else. Or it might be the same thing in a new key. So it might be that one song is in A and then another song is in D, but it's the same pattern if you were playing it on an instrument. So you'd be like, oh, that you play it the same way, you just move
man,
it to a different mode.
I am not a musician. So when you put my eye on these things, I'd never thought of these things before. So now my ear is going to be listening for those types of, subtleties. I'm sure that I had heard them before, but never consciously thought about them. Now you got my eye on it. It'll be interesting.
It's one of those things where also like I hear, okay, this is going to be one of those crazy ones, but I hear overlaps in music where like I'll hear a song and I'll be like, you know, that song is a lot like this other song. And it'll be like two
Mm.
totally weirdly, oddly different songs. And the latest one I noticed, I'll tell two stories about it. So the first time maybe not the first time, but one I noticed that was a big time and I'm glad Google existed when this happened because they have a Nine Inch Nails song called A Warm Place from the Downward Spiral. And I was listening to it. I heard that song a bunch of times since I was a kid. Then later in life, I heard this David Bowie song called, I think it's called Crystal Japan. And it's also an instrumental song. And I heard it and I was like, wait, I know this song. I'd never heard the song before. So I was like, wait, why do I know a song I've never heard before?
And you were
And
pulling from the Nine Inch Nails track.
I figured out, oh, this is the same as A Warm Place. So then I went and Googled, like, is A Warm Place stolen from Crystal Japan? Like, did
Is this
and
one of those Ice Ice Baby scenarios?
kind of, yeah, because the funny thing is, I find a story where Trent Reznor was like, "Oh, I made this song," and then realized it was the same as Crystal Japan. So I like emailed or called David Bowie and said, "Hey, like, I stole your song," and David was like, "Ah, who cares? Like, it, whatever, no big deal."
Have fun.
um, that also happened with Eurythmics' Sweet Dreams and Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. They're basically the same fucking riff. And I don't remember who wrote it first, but the other person was like, yeah, I don't care. And
Sounds
it
good.
might have
Let it
been
ride.
Ozzy. Yeah. Or actually, technically, it would have been Ozzy's riff. It would have been Randy Rhoads' riff. But the other one, the latest one, this is the funny one that people are going to think I'm crazy for. And it's not perfect, but it's not untrue either. But if you put Metallica's Until It Sleeps, you know what song I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay, so Metallica Until It Sleeps is very, very, very structurally similar and could be almost laid over Salt and Peppa's Push It.
Oh no. Hang on, I'll bet you this mashup exists. What's the Metallica track?
Until It Sleeps.
Oh.
So yeah, that's one of those funny. It
exists.
It exists. Oh man, you see, the internet never fails you. And
Can I put this in chat? I'm gonna put it in chat.
with AI, the internet can't fail you anymore because if it doesn't exist, it will exist in a few seconds. Just
That's right. Just GPT it into existence. I'm gonna drop that in chat just for funsies.
Oh man. Yeah, we're not gonna stream it and get, you know, marked for it or whatever.
It
Now you
works.
know. Now you know
It
it's
works.
there.
I hate it. Thanks for that.
So that's why it's nice having the internet to be able to check yourself on this thing because like before the internet, when I used to tell my friends this song is this song, they'd be like, you're crazy. Even my musician friends would not hear these things. And sometimes it's because, like, when we were talking about color the other day, having the wrong vocabulary or not having a vocabulary that translates, like not knowing how to effectively use hue, saturation, what were the other ones like vibrancy or whatever. Like, there's a, you, when I was trying to explain to people, like with color, for instance, like, oh, I like blue reds. I like reds that are more blue than orange. A lot of people don't understand. They're like, red is red. It's like, no, but a red can have more blue in it and a red that has more orange in it. And it's actually even more true when it comes to dyes because that's how they make them with pigments. And
Right.
I'm very particular though with reds specifically with that because a shirt that is an orangish red I don't like as much as a rich dark blue shirt, like a red that has more blue in it. But
More purple tinted.
it's the same thing with this music conversation because I'm saying, hey, this is the same as this thing, and they're like, they may not be hearing it because maybe it's not in the right key, maybe it's not exactly in the right speed. There's something about it where they're like, this is nothing like this, and I'm like, yeah, but it is.
But the shape, though.
The shape.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean the shape? Like, and you can hear it even when you can't play it, in my opinion, because there's a lot of things where I can hear. I'm not going to say I can hear the shape because I don't know what the shape is, but I can hear because of the repetition that there is a shape.
I think I know what you mean. It's a tricky thing to.
It's a pattern.
Your finger, yeah.
Pattern's a better word than shape.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I have a question.
Yep.
I'm bringing it back. I'm tying it back in.
We've
got the first trilogy released. What do you think about playing 1, 2, and 3 right in a row?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Listen to the first trilogy.
First trilogy.
But for anybody who hasn't been watching, we can catch them up on the first 2 tracks. Maybe get them caught up. Do a 3 for here.
Let's do it. lips and lips that never miss, making love but never kiss. Hate with all of your hips, it's not my fault that your art never hit. There's always fond remembrance of emptiness, makes the heart grow fonder.
All right, coming together.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still in the studio working on some other music. Got to get some more drums recorded, and yeah, it's been a journey. It's been fun, you know. But let's see what else we got going on this week. I guess we'll be releasing From A to Z tomorrow at our normal time slot. Get ready for it at what is that, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be going live. And
11 UTC, 11 p.m. UTC.
there you go. So From A to Z tomorrow with our brand new format. And
it is now From A to Z, a creator economy podcast.
Yep.
Shift in focus, shift in assets, like image assets, and just a general overall shift in show structure.
Yep,
Keeping it
absolutely.
under that From A to Z brand.
Indeed. So yeah, and then obviously please go collect these songs while they're available, because there's not that many of them.
It's only 13. Yeah.
13 of each. And then we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be back, next Monday with another song. And we'll be back every Monday with more music. We were actually just talking, like, when these songs are done, like, what are we going to do with this show? And not because because we have options, not because we don't know what to do. It's more like,
yeah. I miss the playlist. I think I want to see some more playlists. There's so many hot tracks. There's so much good music out there that never hurts to put a few more ears on it.
Absolutely. So we will see you back here soon, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us and enjoying some Web3 music and art always. Peace out.